Mars in Scorpio. Mars possesses rulership, triplicity by day and night, terms in the first 6 degrees, and face in the first 10 degrees, making it the strongest place for Mars in the entire tropical zodiac. Having no triplicity in Aries, Scorpio Mars can be said to be most dignified in Scorpio under its nighttime rulership. The nature and reputation of Mars in Scorpio is powerful, and myths and legends have been born out of this placement. There is no doubt that when Mars is found in his own domain, his ability to win and fight is second to none. Having said this, Scorpio Mars is a nighttime rulership, which means that by preference, this Mars prefers to fight by night rather than day, when the darkness and cold give him the advantage. Part of the advantage of Mars in Scorpio is the ray of Scorpio contains elements of Pluto, traditional lord of the dead in the underworld. In this sense, Mars is given a psychological advantage, which is not necessarily physical strength, but an advantage of knowing exactly how to defeat and win against their enemies through primarily fear. But this fear is not a bluff. The fear that precedes this Mars is due to Mars' incisive and brutal actions. Of course, in Scorpio, Mars is a dealer of death. However, this is its dignity, and therefore the death that is dealt and given by this Mars is just and destined. Mars here serves up a karmic sense, karmic judgment that has been previously decided in Libra. It is often necessary for nature to kill and destroy in order to regenerate and renew itself. Scorpio Mars is given this task and is best at it. Often the energy of Scorpio is hidden, is dormant, and appears to be soft and non-threatening. This is one of its advantages. In fact, even the public image of Mars in Scorpio can be deceiving because Scorpio is a sign which generally shuns the spotlight and shuns any artificiality. The result is that Mars in Scorpio is able to fight his battles in total privacy, sometimes without his enemies even being aware of anything till the final moment, due again to his nighttime rulership. This is not to say that this Mars is either underhanded, scheming, or in any kind of way dishonest or morally wrong in his actions. Because of its dignity, it's his duty to carry out such activities, to kill if necessary, to finish and to destroy that which is weak and has no purpose. Death is necessary and the bottom line in any war situation. Mars in Scorpio is aware of this. Mars in Scorpio would rather live because he is attached to life and is born with survival instinct. Mars at war here is at war in the dark. He is also at war in difficult terrain, which is both cold and wet, possibly even at sea, but more likely taking full use of the desert's lack of water in order to let his enemies die of thirst while he fills up in a little oasis of which only he knows the location. Of course, Mars in Scorpio's toughness is often brought about through testing. Scorpio has a way of putting pressure on Mars here so that he is given difficult, sometimes catastrophic times of testing where it appears that he is totally finished or wiped out. However, this is part of the psychology of this sign in which Mars is well placed to be reborn and renewed with full veteran experience, and that advantage once again in having been through disaster, which his enemies have not.